Hi guys, I'm Michelle Sia, and I'm here today with Hanna Liang, who is a pre-med student at MIT, and she just finished her first year. Hannah, I'm so excited to have you here today.
Very
Could you
excited to be
just
here.
start by kind of like sharing your journey and experience that led you to choose a major in STEM?
Yeah, so I think it's like always been like a little bit in my blood. My dad's a like computer scientist. So I've always been like kind of like him. So I think I'm very like analytical minded and like I like understanding how things work and like how the world works. So that's like I think STEM has always just been something that I would have pursued.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a bioengineering major at MIT. And that kind of started probably in high school. I really, really liked my high school chemistry class. Like both the content and my teacher, who was like this like really amazing woman. I love her so much. And then after chemistry, I really liked my biology classes. And then so that kind of led me to apply. Like I applied as a biochemistry major to a lot of colleges. Same at MIT, but once I got in, I kind of switched to bioengineering just because you have like the flexibility to do so. And I kind of realized like the medical applications that bioengineering has because it's a lot more of like an innovative and like you can push the field a lot as a bioengineering major. So that's kind of what taught me to choose that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Wait, that's so cool though, because like then like your chemistry or like your teacher really inspired you to like she served as a role model and inspired you to pursue STEM.
Yes. Yeah,
That's
she was like,
awesome.
so I had her first as a sophomore in high school, and then I took another class with her junior year, and then one more class senior year. So I knew her for around 3 years. She was like a really big inspiration for me in high school.
Mhm.
She got her PhD in chemistry and then worked in academia for a little bit, but then she kind of struggled with it a little bit as a woman and then decided to become a teacher because I think she always wanted to work. This is like what she's told me. Like she always wanted to work with like people.
Mhm.
And I think that was just like the correct choice for her. And she's like still like even after being college, like one of the best teachers I've had and like has had genuinely made such a big like impact on me. So yeah. Sorry, I like glaze her every single time I do something like this.
That's awesome. So you were talking about like her and how she's like a woman in STEM, and so are you. So how do you believe a woman in STEM can positively impact research and innovation?
Yeah. Well, I think there's so many areas within research that are understudied that really pertains to women.
Hmm.
So I'm pre-med and one of my interests is like OB-GYN, so obstetrics and gynecology. And there's so much in those fields that is understudied. So in the field of gynecology, there are a lot of disorders that women go through that are really underdiagnosed, especially in the United States. So things like endometriosis and like polycystic ovarian syndrome, so PCOS, they really haven't been like topics of research since probably until like the last like maybe 10 years. I don't know if that's like the actual metric, but like very recently.
Yeah.
And I think women have like because we have like increasing amounts of women in STEM, those are becoming more popular, not popular, but like more studied because, like why would a man study endometriosis? It doesn't really affect him, right? But women have the ability to do that and
Hmm.
to think more critically about issues because I think sex differences in a lot of disease are also understudied. So a lot of research that's been done in the past centuries have all just been, targeted towards men and white men.
Yeah.
Um, so being able to diversify the people who are doing research, I think diversifies the research itself.
Yeah. And I also think that like women bring a lot more of like different perspectives, not just in med, but also in other areas. Because I feel like women can think of things that sometimes men can't. And so I think that really diversifies the whole STEM field in general.
Yeah, I agree.
So, as someone who has chosen a major, do you have any like tips or strategies that you can share for choosing a major right for you?
Yeah, okay. So I think I got lucky because I went to a school where you don't have to like apply to a major.
Hmm.
But I think you should think about what you like and what you don't like. And you should also think about what you can do with that major after you graduate from college.
Yeah.
So yeah, like in terms of like bio stuff, like not gonna lie, like just a biology major isn't gonna do much for you after you graduate unless you like you want to get a PhD and then become a
Mhm.
professor. So um that was also kind of my thought process. Like if pre-med doesn't work out, a bioengineering major is gonna do a lot more for me than a biology major. But
Yeah.
I also like bioengineering. So it's like a mix of like being practical and also what you love. And like in terms of what you don't like
Hmm.
one thing that I kind of knew off the bat is like I don't like physics and I don't like
Yeah.
electrical things. So that was always out of the picture. But I've changed my mind like many times. Like you can and I think also being open to exploring things,
Hmm.
especially during your first years at college. Like even if you're apply for like a specific major at like let's say a big state so you could always switch and that's always a possibility. So like my first 2 semesters at MIT I took some math classes and I really liked those, and that wasn't something I really expected because I had this like big grudge against math in high school.
Uh-oh.
So like for context, I did a lot of math in elementary and middle school. I did some competitions and
Hmm.
then I kind of stopped later on in high school because I don't really know why. Like I know I always liked it, but I think it was just too much work to be doing
Yeah.
like, like AMCs and
Yeah. Oh
AME
my
and stuff like
gosh.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but I got reintroduced to it in high school and I like really liked my math class last semester.
Hmm.
So now I'm thinking about doing like a minor or something in math too. So being open to explore and yeah, because I thought I would like hated my math class. I would have been like terrible at it, but it was
Hmm.
like one of my best classes last semester.
Okay. That's cool. Yeah, that's really cool because I know that math because I did the AMC and so I know that math can be like
Yeah,
pretty tough when you don't because AMC is like a different type of competition and so it's really hard. And
yeah,
it's like the competition, like the problems aren't something that we usually learn in school, so it's definitely difficult.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
To like the way, like, because my mom really wanted me to do competition math like throughout high
Yeah.
school, but it would have taken like so much self studying and like a lot of people do tutoring and it's like their
Hmm.
entire life, and I didn't want that for me.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. So do you have any strategies that you would use to encourage other girls who like want to go into STEM, for example, like pre-med, but they're kind of scared of, making the wrong decision, or maybe there's like the gender gap that kind of deters them from pursuing their dreams?
yeah. So I think first and foremost, like the gender gap definitely exists, but I think it's something that women just need to push through because if you just keep being scared of like the fact that there's going to be more men in the room, then there's always going to be more men in the room than women.
Yeah.
But I think what really helped for me is having female role models. Like I think I was really lucky in high school. I had a lot of teachers who were women in STEM who like had went to grad school and
Hmm.
had all of these experiences that they would share with me, and then having like solidarity because of that, like understanding that these like really amazing women who I looked up to also struggled
Hmm.
like decades ago, right? Because a lot of them are old, like when things were even worse than they are now. Like understanding that if other people are able to like push through the gender disparity, that I probably can too. And also, I think what's really helpful is having friends who are going through the same thing as you. So I mean, now that I'm at MIT, like all of my friends are in STEM, but in high
Yeah.
school, like I also had some very close friends in STEM, and we would, like struggle through classes together, like complain about things together.
Hmm.
So I think that's really helpful. Just like having a good support system.
Hmm.
But also like I think you also need to have the mindset of like, I know I'm not like the majority,
Hmm.
but like this is what I want to do and I will continue to do it.
Hmm. Yeah, I think role models are so important because, um, like, I know a lot of the times people can feel like they're the only person who's going through this, but then when you look around and you see someone who's going through it and doing the same thing that you are, then I think I don't know, it like encourages you to know that you're not alone. So I think that is really important to have a role model in life. And also not just like in STEM, but also just like to help you achieve your dreams overall, to have a
Mhm.
role model to look up to is really good.
Yeah.
So do you have any just like overall final like advice that you would give to any younger students who would possibly, like to pursue specifically like pre-med, but for example, they may be scared of like I don't know because I've heard my sister talk about like all the experiments that you've been doing. So like I don't know, it's just like going into a field that they don't know a lot about. Do you have any advice for them?
Yeah, so in terms of pre-med, I think biology and like surrounding areas are really great because they don't a lot of the experiences they don't expect you to know everything. So like the experiments that Mary's told you about. So I joined a lab my second semester at MIT.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a little bit of experience, but not like real. Like I had like high school summers, but you're a high schooler and they don't really let you do that much because you're kind of working with like medicines and drugs and like animals in my case.
Mm-hmm.
So I went in there with like little to no experience, but I have like the most wonderful mentor. He gives me a lot of freedom and he actively teaches me things when he like has no obligation to because he's not like getting extra money for it. He just wants to like train the future generation. So
Mm-hmm.
I think actively seeking out opportunities even when they are scary because I kind of put off finding a lab for a long time. Like I could have started my first semester, but I was just like too scared to put myself out there. And
Yeah.
a lot of things that come with like these pre-med experiences is
Mm-hmm.
asking for things. So being pre-med, you have to, what you do is you cold email labs to
Mm-hmm.
get research. So I sent probably 15, 20 emails before I got a positive response. And I went through 2 rounds of interview with one lab before they were like, we don't have a spot for you. And that kind of discouraged me a little bit, but you just have to like keep trying, right? And then other pre-med things like they want shadowing experience. So they want you to be in the hospital and you have to just email a bunch of doctors in the area, especially for people who don't have like immediate connections to doctors because no one in my family is a doctor. So you kind of have to like actively seek things out. And I think being pre-med at MIT specifically, I think it was scary at first because it's not that big. Because MIT is a lot of like CS, math, like those types of people. But I think it's been really great because it gives you a lot of freedom to do things that aren't traditionally pre med. So I'm getting a lot more technical, like CS, math of an education that a typical pre med person would do.
Mm-hmm.
Versus if I was at another school, I think I would have gone to a more traditional path where I would have just been like probably a biology major and then done the traditional things, which I think there's nothing wrong with that. But also understanding that even though you're pre med, you can do things that are not pre med. So like you
Yeah.
can like I'm taking math classes not for anything medical, just because I really like it. Um, Let me think. If there's anything else? Um, just do things that make you happy. Like you're in high school, and I'm like 19 years old. Like we're still very young, and I think still having fun and doing a lot of like fun experiences, even if you're like really locked in on like career and school, etc. I think having balance in your life is like the best way to avoid burnout.
Yeah.
Like as an example, right? After my first year at MIT, I felt like by finals week I was so done. Like I was
Oh my gosh.
studying every day. I was like having like mental breakdowns every day over my finals, and I was like, I just need a break. So, like now I'm in an like internship abroad in India, and it's like the best environmental change that I could have done for myself. Like I feel first of all, I'm getting like I'm shadowing in a hospital, so I'm getting a lot of experience, but I'm also learning like the things I like and the things I don't like. But I also get to experience a new culture and eat a lot of good food and, you know, meet a lot of like really, really nice people. And I don't think that would have been like an experience I would have gotten if I wasn't at MIT. So like doing things like that like are unique and you put yourself out there, but you also get to like have fun and experience things and meet a lot of new people. I think are
Yeah.
great for you. Sorry, I just yapped for like too
No,
long.
no, you're good, you're good. Wait, I love that. Because like I know like MIT is known for, having the most rigorous courses. And like a lot of people go there and the whole like course load is really heavy on them. So I definitely understand like having a change environment, especially going to India is so cool. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Um,
I was really scared at first just because of like it's a different environment, but it's great. Like so many people here just like chase internships,
mhm.
which like is a great path if that's what you want to do, but I don't think that was ever for me.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Hannah, for, like
Yeah, of
talking to
course.
me and giving your perspective on things and all of your wonderful advice. And I wish you luck for the next 3 years at MIT and all of your study abroad work.
Yes, thank you.